The 17-year-old girl was taken by her mother to her stepfather's house. She was not happy at all, but even she had to be astonished by the sight before her. A huge mansion with sparkling chandeliers, an indoor swimming pool, and a super cool supercar. The level of luxury was truly top tier, but none of this could make her happy until the man in front of her appeared, enriching her life with a multitude of colors. This man was the stepbrother, her stepfather's son, Nick. What kind of interactions would the two of them have? The story begins. Noah went to the refrigerator to find something to eat, but she was startled by the man in front of her. Her phone consequently fell to the floor. As she bent to pick it up, she was frightened by the dog's fierce appearance. Nick was immediately very interested in his new stepsister, Noah. His words relentlessly teased her, and even the dog wanted to bully her. But Noah did not show weakness. Seeing the dog constantly barking at her, she hid behind Nick, wanting to use a pan to hit the dog. Noah's personality was quite aggressive. It was this action that piqued Nick's curiosity about his stepsister. After the teasing, Noah returned to her room. She wasn't angry about Nick's actions. A slight smile even appeared on her face. That evening, to celebrate Noah's arrival, the stepfather booked a luxurious restaurant. Her mother assumed she would wear the elegant dress she had prepared, but to her surprise, Noah, embracing her rebellious phase, chose to wear black tights. Her stepfather saw her and immediately complimented her, saying she looked beautiful and her figure was excellent, causing Nick to stare blankly, his eyes fixed on Noah. As she walked past, Noah even challenged him to take a picture. As soon as they sat down at the dinner table, the two spoke to each other quite sharply. Nick was scolded by his father and could only remain silent. In front of his parents, Nick always played the role of the perfect son, but everyone knew he was quite the opposite. He was a real player. After a while, he excused himself, claiming he had things to do, and left. He intentionally tossed his napkin, leaned close to Noah's ear, and whispered, "See you later, little sister." But, unexpectedly, Noah also wanted to leave. Coincidentally, the stepfather, wanting to strengthen the sibling bond, told the older brother to drive his little sister home. Noah disagreed, and Nick was also extremely reluctant. But his father didn't give Nick a chance to refuse. Noah's mother also supported the idea. Nick drove very fast. The two sat in the same car, just like that. Since Noah was already unwilling, Nick started swerving, making Noah so scared her heart felt like it would fly out. She continuously yelled at him. Nick said her temper was too sharp, and only her mother could stand her. Noah retorted defiantly, "At least it's better than you. You don't have your mother's love." This very statement instantly infuriated Nick. He slammed on the brakes, stopped the car, walked over to the passenger door, pulled Noah out, and sped off, leaving Noah stranded in the middle of the road. She was utterly stunned. In the dense dark nights, there was no one around. She forced herself to suppress her fear and waited for a car to come by to hitch a ride. Fortunately, a car arrived soon after. Noah successfully got into the car, but unexpectedly, the driver was a friend of Nick's. From the man's words, she learned that Nick was rushing to a party. Noah angrily followed him there. Upon arriving, she realized it was a gang party. The rough man in front of her was the boss of the blue gang. Nick was the boss of the red gang. The two gangs were intensely opposed. Noah entered cautiously. It wasn't long before she saw Nick kissing one girl after another, his hands touching her inappropriately. Noah was extremely shocked, but also disgusted. She walked over and delivered a slap to his face, releasing the anger of being abandoned on the road. Nick had no choice but to pull her aside and began to lecture her, even pressing his face close to hers, which made Noah's heart pound faster. After Nick finished teasing Noah, he walked away and went back to his stimulating games with the beauties. Noah stood nearby, angrily reflecting that this party truly had all kinds of people. At this time, the boss of the blue gang, Ronnie, signaled his associate. He was holding a cup of Coke and a cup of liquor, inviting Noah to drink. She wanted to refuse, but was too embarrassed. She took a sip and realized it was liquor. She was thirsty but had no choice. As she went to take a second sip, Nick suddenly shoved her to the ground and chased the man away. But Noah scolded Nick instead. Noah realized the drink was spiked and tried to force herself to vomit, but couldn't. After a while, Noah felt dizzy. Nick had no choice but to drive her home.
What's the matter, huh? Woo! I bet you drink your steroids after everything, right?
The next day when she woke up, Noah couldn't remember anything, but she was worried she had done something overboard, so she kept questioning Nick. Unexpectedly, Nick didn't tell her the truth and continued to tease her, but Noah didn't believe him. Seeing that he wouldn't talk, she threatened Nick that she would expose his perfect son facade to his father. Nick just smiled. When her parents arrived, she was about to tell the truth. Her mother asked, "Did you have fun at Jenna's house last night?" It turned out that last night, Nick had taken Noah's phone and texted his parents, saying she was at Jenna's house watching a movie. And Jenna was a rich socialite. Her mother was extremely grateful to Nick for introducing Noah to a new friend. But Noah rejected the idea. She said she didn't need friends. Furthermore, her mother's remarriage was the reason she and her ex-boyfriend Gene broke up. She angrily walked away. At this moment, Nick learned of Gene's existence and his eyes changed. Noah wore a swimsuit and lay on the lawn reading a book, showcasing her flawless figure. Nick's sudden appearance broke this tranquility. Noah warned Nick, "Don't casually touch my phone again," adding, "And I definitely don't like watching romantic movies." Then she turned and left. But another boy nearby who teased Noah was looked at as if he wanted to eat him alive. "Only I get to tease my little sister." Noah, hiding nearby, would occasionally overhear everyone talking. She seemed to recall the bad things that happened last night. Looking at Nick again, she was completely mesmerized by his body, involuntarily peeking, her mouth nearly watering. Jenna commented beside her, and Noah didn't object. "He's really handsome." That night was the rival gang's car race party. It was again the red and blue gangs facing off. The first person up was Nick. Beauties also came up one by one to cheer him on. As the race was about to start, Nick saw a familiar figure wearing his gang's red scarf in the noisy crowd. His gaze stopped solely on Noah. He seemed to feel that she had changed somehow, but couldn't quite place it. It was this distraction that made this race, which he was sure to win, a little more interesting. Relying on his timely stability, Nick quickly adjusted, but when he saw Noah hugging another man, he became distracted again. In an instant, he fell behind. His friends noticed that Nick wasn't quite himself tonight and weren't cheering him on with full force. Nick heard this and immediately accelerated. There was only the final curve left, the infamous curve 6, the turn of death. After this curve was the finish line. Nick, who was behind, relied on his effort and powerful technique. Nick perfectly passed the curve, and the opponent crossed the finish line just after him. Nick won the race. Everyone rushed over to congratulate him, and the enthusiastic kiss from the beauty, Anna, was also present. Noah felt a little jealous and asked Jenna, "Is that his girlfriend? I see her every time." Jenna replied, "Of course not. His girlfriend can only be his car." Just then, Noah's phone rang. When she opened it, it was a picture of her best friend and Gene. They had gotten involved without telling her, which drove her mad. Jenna quickly comforted her. "A good cry and you'll be over it." But Noah wasn't resigned. She started dancing on the stage to relieve her mood, even standing on the highest platform, performing the most provocative dance. Nick realized she had this sexy side to her. But Noah's phone kept ringing. It was another picture of Gene and her best friend. Infuriated, she pulled a man close, wanting to take a more provocative picture to send to Gene to annoy him. Nick intervened, chasing the man away. Recognizing Noah's behavior tonight was due to being dumped by Gene, Nick offered to help Noah take the picture after seeing the photo. But the condition was Noah agreed to a relationship with him. Their interaction had a subtle chemistry. Looking at each other, both seemed to realize something. After taking the picture, Nick put Noah in the car for Jenna to drive her home. He still had the final race soon. But before he could call Jenna, he couldn't wait any longer and sought out Anna. On the other side, Noah sent the photo she just took to Gene, ending their relationship. Since she had interest in racing, she climbed into the driver's seat to try it out. Unexpectedly, this action gave the rival gang's boss an opportunity, causing the race to start early. But the person competing was Noah. Even with Noah's explanation, Ronnie was unfazed. He was determined to win tonight and even gave Noah a 5-second head start. Nick heard the sound and rushed over, but it was too late. The gunshot had sounded. The two didn't start the race immediately. Noah haughtily used the 5 seconds to apply makeup, saying she would make Ronnie lose completely. Ronnie was so angry he started driving right away, but it was too late. Noah was a natural talent. Her father was a top racer in his prime. Nick was utterly stunned by her performance. She quickly navigated the 6 curves, not even touching the brake. Ronnie sensed something was wrong. He continuously rammed her car, once, then twice. Ronnie still didn't stop. Noah slammed the brakes, lunging forward. She was overjoyed, thinking she had won. But unexpectedly, the opponent reneged, claiming the Red Gang had violated the rules. This was supposed to be a competition between him and Nick, but someone else took his place. Since he couldn't win, he resorted to using the rules. According to the rules, it was indeed a violation. Nick had lost. He reluctantly handed over his beloved racing car. As he was leaving, he heard Ronnie insulting Noah. Nick couldn't hold back and started fighting. But Noah acted strangely. She neither fought nor ran, but sat down, trembling. Perhaps it was related to a childhood event that still traumatized her. Ronnie sensed something was wrong, so he quickly called his driver and prepared to flee. In the car, Noah noticed a rope tattoo on Nick's body, similar to her own. Her eyes instantly changed. Nick gently treated Noah's wound. After this incident, their relationship grew closer. But tonight she was not happy because she hadn't seen Nick for 4 days. Disappointed, Noah went into the living room, intending to see what Nick was doing. It turned out he had a little sister. Just then, the dog barked at her. Noah's eyes widened in fear. What should I do now? Outside the mansion, Nick finally returned. As he entered the house, he saw someone lying down. Looking closely, it was Noah. It seemed she and the dog were getting along well. Nick went to Noah. Noah asked him, "Why didn't you go to the party tonight?" The party was very important tonight. It was the first time she and her mother had appeared since coming here. But unexpectedly, after waiting all night, Nick still didn't attend. When they returned, neither her mother nor her stepfather were happy. Nick said he was with someone very important to him, and that person was his half-sister. The girl had been in poor health since childhood and needed medication year-round. But his mother neglected her, handing her over to a nanny while she traveled. At that time, her sister was depressed. He couldn't leave. Noah didn't blame Nick. She only felt guilty for losing his car in a bet. Nick signaled Noah not to speak further. "You are more important than the car." Their feelings overflowed. Nick expressed his emotions for Noah. Ultimately, his reason prevailed, and he asked Noah to restrain herself, in the future not to do anything to cross boundaries. Noah didn't understand. "You were the one who approached me, and now you want me to restrain you?" Just then, Noah's mother appeared. Fortunately, she didn't see the previous scene. She told Nick to talk to his father. "He didn't show up for the party all night, and your father is very upset." Her mother, seeing Noah's unhappy face, thought she was still missing Jean. The next morning, Noah woke up early to wash Nick's car. "Since I lost your car in a bet, I have to do something." Nick was delighted to see her. As he was about to go downstairs, Noah sprayed him with water to stop him. "You said last night we should keep our distance. Have you forgotten?" The scene was beautiful. But at this moment, her mother appeared. Nick quickly dodged. The mother, unaware of the situation, brought Jean over to cheer up her daughter, completely shocking Noah. Noah saw her clothes were wet and quickly told her mother to bring Jean inside. Her mother also felt something was off about her daughter. Nick, hiding by the window, saw everything that just happened. By the pool, Noah quickly ran to Nick and asked him, "What should we do? Jean is here. If he recognizes us, we're dead." But unexpectedly, Nick didn't care at all. Jean suddenly appeared. He explained that the incident with her best friend was a complete misunderstanding. He knew he was wrong and apologized. At this moment, Nick emerged to disrupt the situation, truly wanting to cause chaos. He showed no fear of being recognized. Jean insisted that he and her best friend had only gotten together because he missed Noah so much that he did something excessive. Nick couldn't take it anymore and splashed water on Jean. Friends quickly pulled Jean away. Noah scolded Nick for doing that. Unexpectedly, Nick pulled Noah directly into the pool. The two hid in a corner where no one could see them. Jean wanted to see what Noah was doing, but was blocked by a friend. Finally, Noah's mother came to find Nick. The two of them had no choice but to separate. Jean recognized Nick from the picture. After returning to her room, Noah received a threatening letter from a mysterious person. She assumed Jean sent it, so she confronted him. Jean said it wasn't him and arranged to come to Noah's room that evening to talk. Nick saw the cheap bouquet and sneered, "Who sends flowers like this?" That evening, Nick went for a walk. Ronnie initiated a conversation. His words severely hurt Nick. Nick ignored him. Unexpectedly, Ronnie eventually mentioned Noah. This was the last straw for Nick. When he returned home, his face was bruised. As he went upstairs, he saw Jean entering Noah's room. He sadly walked out to the garden. Seeing the shadows of two people moving back and forth in Noah's room, his heart trembled. But when he turned back, he saw Noah sleeping on a chair in the garden. He couldn't help but smile. Seeing her asleep, he felt very happy. But when he saw the scar on her abdomen, his brow furrowed. He intended to cover her with a blanket so she wouldn't be cold. Unexpectedly, Noah woke up and punched him. She thought it was Jean. In the incredibly ambiguous atmosphere, they might have shared a tender moment, but Nick suddenly had a nosebleed. Noah thoughtfully wiped the wound for him. Knowing Ronnie was responsible, Nick thought Ronnie had gone crazy. He told Noah, "Don't go out alone anymore." Jean had overheard the entire conversation when he came to the garden looking for her and saw the two of them. Noah pleaded with Jean not to tell anyone. The next day, Jean left and didn't tell anyone what happened last night. Nick was overjoyed and very excited when he tried to pull Noah's skirt, accidentally letting the housekeeper see. Meanwhile, Noah received another threatening letter. "I want you to truly suffer a little bit." This was the first time Nick couldn't control his feelings toward a girl, which, as he said, was quite rare, considering he was never short of girls by his side. Due to Nick's sincerity, Noah always felt affection for him and finally fell in love. They separated only when their friends appeared, but their happiness was short-lived. Noah had no idea the gathering that night was at a boxing ring. Since childhood, she had greatly resisted men resolving things through violence. She pleaded with Nick not to get on the stage, but it was useless, because Nick loves fighting just like girls love complaining to vent their emotions. Anna on the side finally couldn't stand it anymore. She scolded Noah. "Nick is that kind of man. Don't hope to change him." Noah stood by helplessly watching, but when she saw the man she loved continuously using his fists to hurt others, she began to feel confused. Noah angrily left immediately. It was this void that allowed the man who liked Noah to take advantage of it. On the stage, Nick won the fight. Seeing so many people cheering for him, he still wasn't very happy, perhaps because Noah wasn't there. He rushed outside to look for Noah, but unexpectedly saw a man about to harass her. He was so furious that he knocked the man to the ground. This action strained the relationship between the two. After the fight, Nick was confused, not knowing why. He felt terrible. He continuously apologized to Noah and swore he would never do that again. But at this point, Noah wanted to end their relationship. Hearing this, Nick grew more anxious. He tightly held Noah's hands, completely unaware that she was in pain. Nick kept asking why. Because Noah wouldn't allow a second person with a tendency for violence to appear in her life. Nick didn't understand Noah's intention at all. Noah turned and left with her friends, leaving Nick alone in his pain. He didn't understand why Noah had suddenly changed. In the following days, the two had no contact at all, busy with their own lives. Noah wanted to support herself, working extra jobs. Her mother could only watch helplessly. Nick was also busy with his career. Whenever he was bored, he would go for runs and rarely went to parties. But the two still didn't talk. Until one day, Noah received another threatening letter from the mysterious person. Noah's father also told him when Noah was little, her father tried to kill her. This shocked Nick. It turned out Noah's father was very violent and had abused her mother. Whenever he couldn't find his mother, he would take his anger on Noah. Eventually, the mother and daughter couldn't take it anymore. They called the police and sent him to prison. Most importantly, it was Noah's testimony that put her father in jail. So when he gets out, he will definitely seek revenge on Noah. The father wanted Nick to protect Noah because her father was about to be released from prison. But Noah didn't know this. Her mother didn't want her to know this because Noah was terrified of her father. This is when Nick finally understood why Noah opposed him fighting in the ring. Outside the party, a strange man was waiting in a car. He stared intensely at Noah's car. Inside, Noah was gathered with friends. Just then, Nick called her. Noah immediately refused. Then Nick called her friend, but unfortunately, the loud party made it impossible to hear what Nick was saying. The phone slipped and fell. The phone was damaged. Nick, unable to contact her, was furious. At this time, Noah and Jenna were soaking in the pool. They suddenly found the party boring. Both decided to leave. As they walked out the door, the man in the car was ready to attack. The intelligent Jenna realized she needed to call Nick, but the figure behind them was getting closer. A scream rang out. Oh, thank goodness. It turned out Nick had arrived in time. The man in the car quickly backed away. He could only curse in defeat. But just then, Noah remembered she had left her jacket at the party. When she went in to look for it, Anna joked with her, telling her to look in the closet. She then locked Noah in the closet. No matter how much Noah screamed, Anna didn't realize the seriousness of the problem. As Noah stopped screaming, her mind filled only with images of her father's abuse when she was little. She was completely exhausted. Fortunately, Nick arrived in time. He quickly rescued her. Seeing Noah curled up in fear, Nick was heartbroken. After learning what happened to Noah, he was full of self-reproach. I treated her so badly back then. Meanwhile, over the last few days, Noah realized she couldn't let go of Nick. The two opened up and talked to each other. However, they were discovered by Nick's father. Nick tried to explain, but his father stopped him because there was a more urgent matter. Nick's sister was in the hospital. He rushed to the hospital. Noah followed him. When he saw his sister was safe, he finally relaxed. His sister also recognized Noah. She wasn't rude at all as her brother had described. Nick said, "That's right, if you just get to know her, you'll see she's wonderful." The doctor pulled Nick aside to talk. His sister, because she was hiding behind a curtain, missed her medication time, which caused her to go into shock. Fortunately, the nurse found her in time. Nick knew what his sister needed wasn't a nurse, but her mother. When they returned that evening, the two looked strained because they knew they would have to separate. But Nick couldn't accept it. He angrily drove to the beach. Looking at the woman he loved so deeply, he couldn't hold back and rushed to her, clinging to her. "I can't accept this being our last kiss. If love is a crime, then the fault is mine." I wanted to defy everything and be with Noah. But Noah didn't want that. She didn't want her mother to be hurt. Her mother had finally found true love. She couldn't tear them apart. If tonight is our last night, then why don't we give it our all? Noah surrendered everything to Nick. But their pleasure was short-lived. Dawn was breaking. Not wanting to waste time, the two began to play by the seashore, listening to the waves speak of their future. They even considered running away. But Noah refused. She said that runaways in movies never have a good ending. She didn't want their relationship to become like that. The sun was rising. The two embraced, unable to let go. I wish time could just stop in this moment. To make the most of their time, Noah made another request, so the two drove to the nearest convenience store. Nick hurried inside. But unexpectedly, Ronnie had climbed into the car at that moment. During the struggle, Noah managed to flash the lights, but Nick thought Noah was just being impatient, not realizing Noah was in danger. When he returned to the car, he found Noah was missing. Anxious, he checked his camera and realized Ronnie had kidnapped Noah. He explained the feud with Ronnie to the police. Nick intended to comfort Noah's mother, but she treated him coldly. Just then, his father angrily warned Nick, "Don't you ever touch Noah again." Knowing that he had been playing the role of the perfect son in front of him, his father was furious. He felt he no longer knew his own son. Elsewhere, Noah was tied up in a miserable place. No matter how much she struggled, she couldn't escape. Noah was thirsty. She saw a cup of water on the table. She reached for it. Then a hand suddenly appeared, startling her. She thought it was Ronnie. Noah immediately cursed. "I only won one race against you, and you tie me up?" But when she clearly saw the opponent's face, Noah trembled and fell silent. At the mansion, the police found a box full of threatening letters in Noah's room. Her mother anxiously opened it. A thought flashed in her mind. Just then, an unknown number called. It was Noah's voice. She kept shouting for help. Next came the voice of her ex-husband. He scolded his ex-wife. "You never visited me in prison. You live a comfortable life marrying a rich man." The woman cried in terror. Her husband took the phone and asked the man what he wanted. He didn't hesitate. $1 million. Meet me tomorrow at the plaza. Don't bring the police, he said before hanging up. The next morning, the couple arrived at the plaza early, but the man still hadn't appeared. Plainclothes police officers were also waiting nearby. Just then, a car approached. Nick ignored the warnings and drove there. He couldn't sit still and wait. He wanted to do something. At the plaza, Noah's mother knew the man wouldn't come. He didn't need the money at all. He just wanted the mother and daughter to suffer. Indeed, just as the mother predicted, the man had no intention of appearing. But Nick, looking at the car Noah had given him, suddenly realized Ronnie was driving his car, and he had a car tracker. The police immediately reported the information. But what they didn't know was that the man had anticipated everything. After Nick arrived, a red sports car sped out. Nick looked closely and saw the driver was Noah. Noah had been forced by her father to drive to the plaza, but she didn't know her father wanted to kill her mother. Seeing the scene, she angrily drove the car straight towards the sea, intending to perish with her father. But after thinking about it, she was afraid he would survive drowning. So she swerved. She knew that after he killed her, he wouldn't be able to escape. That way, he won't bother Mom anymore. Her final farewell to Nick, her eyes filled with regret. But Nick looked at Noah. His eyes conveyed something. Noah understood. She slammed the gas.
What are you doing?
And the man was knocked unconscious. A moment of absolute unspoken understanding. At that moment, Noah and her mother were completely free from this demon. They hugged and cried. After returning to the mansion, Nick saw the housekeeper leaving, so he secretly went to Noah's room. After locking the door, the two couldn't restrain themselves and rushed to embrace, pouring out all their longing. They didn't know that the mother had seen everything clearly from the opposite balcony. She felt it was time to make a decision. The story ends here. See you next time.